This is Production Values, the Art of Amdram podcast, a show all about amateur dramatic and musical productions. In this series, we will follow amateur productions from the initial idea through to show week. We will include previews of upcoming shows, reviews of shows already open, and take you backstage to hear how it all comes together. Hi, and welcome to episode 6 of Production Values. My name is Stuart Hanna. One thing that I love about amateur dramatics is the opportunity that it provides for new original plays to be performed for the first time. Local playwrights can see their work performed and have the opportunity to fine-tune the work. A great example of this is the stage adaptation of the book Miss Pettigrew Lives for a Day, written by Winifred Watson and first published in 1938. Lavenham-based actor and director Pelham Elliott took on the task of writing the stage adaptation with the support of the late Winifred's family and created what many feel to be a faithful adaptation of the book. In April 2023, the first stage production of the play was put on at the Quay Theatre in Sudbury and was a joint production between the Quay and Pelham's production company Pelham Elliott Productions. By staging it as an amateur production, Pelham could bring his adaptation to life without the prohibitive costs of trying to stage a professional production. The show received great reviews and hopefully will be staged again before very long. In September 2025, another original play is being staged at the studio at Eastern Angles in Ipswich from Thursday, September 25th through to Saturday, September 27th, with 2 performances on the Saturday. I will put a link to the show website in the show notes. Called The Ripple Effect, it is written and directed by David Pollard, and I sent the show's roving reporter Seb Ranson to interview David. I didn't need to send him far, however, as Seb is playing Tom Miller Hardy in the play, along with many other East Anglia and especially Bury St Edmunds amateur theatre alumni, such as Matt Byam, Rob Aldous, Stuart McClellan, Elizabeth Elliott, Meg Reynard, our eldest daughter Becky Hanna, and Pelham himself. With the exception of Rob, I've had the pleasure of working with all of the cast on various productions around the Bury St Edmunds area. With that introduction, I will hand over to Seb and David. Thanks for listening.
Hello, my name is Seb and I'm playing Tom Miller in The Ripple Effect, which is a production both written and directed by David Pollard here. David, nice of you to join me for this little conversation.
Hello, it's nice to be here and have the opportunity.
So first of all, could you give a brief summary of what The Ripple Effect is about?
Okay. Well, I start as a headline that it's a modern morality tale. And I stand by that because what the play does is deal with the consequences for participants in hoaxes and frauds when these are surfaced after how many years, straight away or 100 years on.
Yes, and we won't give too much away because there's lots of very interesting twists and turns for pretty much all the characters in there and the kind of journeys or agendas they've all got.
They've all got their own agendas, yes. That's for sure.
And so kind of a second part of that, if you like, what was your influence/inspiration in writing it?
Right. Well, I've always been quite intrigued by hoaxes and frauds, and I was having a chat about the Piltdown hoax, which, just to refresh your memory, someone in the south of England decided that he would represent the fact that he had discovered the missing link between the Neanderthals and Homo sapiens. So he sort of got a monkey's jaw and a few other bits, glued them together, and successfully passed it off as the missing link. And it wasn't discovered for about another 100 years. So talking about that, and then it became pretty clear that we've been lying to each other for gain since time immemorial. And the people who really lose out are the people who subscribe to, support, or whatever the actual hoax, and when it comes to the surface, there are consequences.
So that was very much the Piltdown incident in real life was something that you kind of
latched onto
for the ripple effect. As yourself, as a person, I know there's many strings to your bow. I've seen you in an acting capacity. You're both the writer and director of the Ripple Effect. Can you tell us a bit more about, I guess, your journey related to all things stage centric?
Sure. Well, I've devoted all the years of my retirement, which is coming up for 15 years now, to amateur dramatics. Unfortunately, during my working life, I couldn't get away in time most of the time to be involved. But once I was free, I decided to get involved. Now, I was very heavily involved in Hereford, where I was living up until just after COVID. And I had plays put on there that I'd written. I was acting, I was directing, and I was even chairman of the Hereford County Drama Festival. So a lot of involvement.
It sounds like, correct me if I'm wrong, it sounds like you were very much making up for lost time. If it was something you couldn't have much time for in your younger days, shall we say?
Yeah.
That in the latter end of things, you've sort of thrown yourself full in for. Do you have a preference for one or the other when it comes to writing, directing, acting, or do you find something to enjoy in all of them at different points?
Well, I think I enjoy them all. Sometimes it's easier to get a part to act, and it's nice to be involved that way. Otherwise, it's it's all one.
And is there anything else that you're working on currently in terms of something else that you've written or other projects in the pipeline, if you will?
Right. Well, as you gather, we moved here about 4 years ago to Suffolk, and since that time I've been revisiting my work in progress file for plays, and of course this is where the Ripple Effect came from. However, I've got another 2 pieces on the go.
Very interesting.
One's called No Regrets, and you can figure out what that might be about. And that's just a 2-hander.
Right.
So it might be a little easier to cast. And I've got plenty of other things cooking until.
Super. Will that be under the guise of, so this is Ripple Effect is 4x4 Productions?
Yes.
Tell me a bit more about it. It's a writing collective, is that right? 4x4 Productions?
Yeah, it's a writing collective, or what I prefer to call it, a writing collaboration, because we've all got our own projects. There are 4 of us,
right,
which is why it's 4x4, and we each have our own projects. But the idea is that we each bring some other talents to the table. It might be connections, people we know, both from the point of view of getting them to come and watch, but also very important to us is our relationship with actors. And the main reason we're doing it is to get our stuff on the stage.
It's always nice, I think, kind of speaking to that point there that you were talking about, when you almost kind of naturally network with different people kind of in the region that we're in, so Ipswich, Sudbury, Bury in the east. And on this production of The Ripple Effect, for example, many of us in the cast know each other from having done past productions, and other people are sort of new to each other. And then you hear about another project that's happening at different theatre or a different performance space, and it's really nice. I find
it's great fun, isn't
when
it?
things just naturally grow like that. So the Ripple Effect is on the 25th to the 27th of September, and it's the studio at Eastern Angles in Ipswich, isn't it?
Yeah.
Which people might possibly know formerly the Sir John Mills Theatre.
Correct.
And it's Thursday night, Friday night, and there's a Saturday matinee and a Saturday evening on the 27th.
It's correct. You've done your homework.
Yeah, I like to think that I have in some capacity. David, thank you very much for your time, and thank you for talking to me.
Thank you for listening to Production Values. If you enjoyed it, please rate and share the show. This makes a big difference to how many people get to hear it. If you're involved in a production and would like it to feature on Production Values, please get in touch via email by dropping a message to info@stuarthanna.com. Details are also in the show notes.